Welcome to episode 3 of this Let's Play series. My name is Das Tactic. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this series. This series of of Shadow Empire. My brain was thinking, okay, it's Oceania, it's all this sort of stuff. It's the Oceania DLC. We do actually have some sort of aquatic creature which has sort of come ashore down through here at Bryce. I might just zip out and just grab Bryce back with that particular group. Now we do actually have hills all the way around. You've got low mountains, essentially hills, and then you've got high mountains all the way through here. There's no easy way to get a road across this location, unfortunately. So this territory, I'm going to have to bounce these units in and out just to sort of get things working. There is a bit of supply that comes across this way, but really the roads. I don't have an easy way to get supply out across this area, so I'll just have to follow it up using this particular little militia unit. Sorry, I've only just woken up, so I'm going to be a little bit groggy with this particular run through. Now, what I wanted to do last episode, we did actually have like a contact was made with us with the Maritime Trade House, and we haven't really spoken much about Maritime Trade Houses in this series, so I think we'll do that now, because we do actually have one more decision now, which is the stock auction. And so this is Hades' main Maritime Trade House stock auction. Let's have a good look at everything, and then we can sort of do the auction. You'll see what actually happens with the auction. I don't know if we'll win it or not. We don't have a real lot of money, so I can't do a hell of a lot with that one. Let's just turn on our trade and just see if there is anything we can sell off that's worth it. Yeah, 10. They'll buy 10 at 10, so that's another 100. Okay, we'll grab that. What about food? Food is a good one for us to sell off if we can get good money for it. So we can sell off, and get another 100 there as well. This will give us a little bit just to use. Now we also have a lot of fuel available to sell. They've only got 78 credits left anyway. Yeah, let's sell that. We've got a lot of fuel on this particular island, so they've got nothing else that they can really sort of buy. We're still trying to break in over here as well. So let's talk about maritime trade houses. So if we go across to the reports, and we go across to the MTHs, which is the Maritime Trade Houses, you'll notice a few different things. We've got an overview back in through here of the different trade houses that we're aware of. And so we've got the Hades main, which is I think the one that's doing the auction at the moment. And we can see there when we've made contact with them, we have sort of basically the type of reconnaissance we actually have. So we've got none with Odin Sea. Blowfish and Hades main, we've now got contact with them. And these have got 16 shares, these have got 14 shares. Now, also, there's known ships that they actually have. So we know that the Hades main has got 3 ships, Blowfish has got 4. They use these to attack each other and to build up their, what they've actually got there. Now, we don't see any other shareholders at this point in time because it's just literally just doing everything right now. If we go to contracts, we don't have any contracts with them yet. We'll get to that later on. And then we can go to each of them in through here and see what we know about them. And so Hades main is up through this side. And there's going to be something in through here where the relationship with us is neutral. Now, their piracy attitude is slightly pro. And so if I hover over that one, it says the higher the piracy attitude, the more likely the MTH will be tempted to sign contracts with minor regime pirates to transport them to your shores. So if there are minor regimes along the area of that particular maritime trade house, we have to be careful, and being pro 18 is fairly high, so there's a likelihood that they will actually end up landing pirates across our shoreline if there's minor factions there. Also, if there is just they can actually just spawn marauders as well, and actually just land sort of like Viking marauder type units in there as well. Now, if we have a look at a few things, we've got the 3 ships back in through there. So the bigger the fleet, the better the MTH can fight its enemies, and the more contracts it can sign at a reasonable price. Each ship is about 500 tonnage. So that's the most that they can then be used for their logistics points. Now, they can build more ships over the course of the game, and your interaction with them can actually help with this. So it's really quite interesting. The more you play the game and the more you play with these maritime trade houses, the more impact you sort of see that you can actually have through your various cards. If we have a look at our strat cards, I don't think we've got very much in here at the moment. So we've got one where we can actually enter into a communication with the trade house. Now we don't need to play that for the two that we've made contact with, but for the other one, Odin C or whatever it was, we may want to do that one if we wanted to. Got transport contracts in through here. We've only got one of them at the moment, but we'll end up with more of them. Now before you use these, you'll be wanting to have maybe 3 or 4 of them. These actual cards, you will pick them up through. This is all through the Economic Council. Information contract. So these are all the different contracts you can end up having. And so selected C. So this is on schedule a meeting to sign an information contract. What does that one do? Not sure exactly what the information contract does. Click on that one, and then just go across and highlight one of the C's as an example. And then just come back to the stratagem card. I don't think it's going to tell us what it actually does do. It sets up a meeting anyway, but I don't think we need that one as such. So it's more of an information exchange. It's not reconnaissance. And there is actually a reconnaissance card as well. And so I'd be wanting to play the reconnaissance card first. And then we've got shipyard. So we can build more ships under supervision for the MTH. The cost is 2,000 credits. So if we wanted to invest and build more ships for an MTH, this is more late game type stuff. But if we needed to, for example, if we've got like a very, very closely allied maritime trade house, we can actually then build ships. There's a lot of other cards that do come into play. By the way, if you're trying to figure out what cards they actually do have available for the maritime trade house, just come across into the help file and you'll see that it's got a stratagem encyclopedia. So the cards are stratagems, and if you come and click on that one through there, most of them that you'll sort of see will be under the Economic Council. If you come and click on Economic Council, you'll sort of find that there's the Contact MTH, there's the shipyarding one that we just saw, Information Contract that we just saw there before, Sell a Share, that's an MTH card as well, so buy off or auction off one of your shares. So we can sort of sell shares in the companies that we sort of do actually end up getting. Intel Support is help the current MTH leadership stay in power. That's if you sort of are supporting an actual leader, and we'll talk about that in just a minute as well. Transport contract we saw. Makeshift port is an important one. We can't really do much without actually having that card, so we're going to need to get that card before we start to sort of expand across the oceans. These will come pretty thick and fast, by the way, so don't worry too much about them. But you do need the Economic Council to a large degree to get these. Not all the time. So the Economic Council has got like an asterisk there. That means that some of these cards you'll pick up without the Economic Council, but the Economic Council is the main one for these ones. There's the recon contract. We need to do the reconnaissance through the trade house to see what's actually around the place. Private investment, that is different again. So these are just other ones, but we've only got the Economic Council now does a lot. This is a policy meeting. That's as a shareholder you can try to influence the Maritime Trade House. This is sort of try to change their approach to what they then go and do. Start up a different MTH, so finance the start of a new MTH in a sea zone that hasn't had any yet. So that one just costs 500 credits to get that one sort of started. So you can build one that you then support, and the other ones are sort of all fairly open. So anyway, they're the cards for the maritime trade houses that come through the Economic Council. Now going back to the MTHs again. So with Hades Main selected, so we've got 3 ships. Each ship is worth 500 tonnage, and you will ultimately be needing to use a fair bit of this tonnage to sort of get things happening. It's very, very interesting as you sort of play the game, particularly on a world like what we have where there's lots and lots of islands all over the place. Now, as we come back down through here, we don't know how much credits they've actually got, so we need to be a shareholder to see how many credits they've got. Sometimes the maritime trade houses are incredibly rich, and sometimes they're incredibly poor. So we'll have to find out which way this one goes. They're not paying any dividends to any of their shareholders just yet. This is sort of like money that's paid every turn. So, and again, if they're a rich trade house, they're going to give good credits. If they're a poor trade house, they're not going to give hardly anything at all. They've got 16 shares. With what they actually have, everything else is okay. This is the price analytics, so the tonnage mod. So base price for 500 logistical points is expected to be around about 350 credits. An MTH with equal demand and supply would charge 1,000 credits. An MTH with no demand can have a base price as low as 350 credits. So this is about as low as it's going to be because nobody is using it. If we started to sort of make use of it, the price of the tonnage is going to start to go up. Relation modifier in through here, having a really bad relation with an MTH can more than triple prices during contract negotiations. Having a really good relation can potentially halve prices. And again, having shares in the MTH will also improve your contract negotiation. So there's a lot that you have to then go and do with just with what you're doing through here, and then the liquidity. So basically, the MTH analysis of the global financial liquidity of all major regimes and adjust its prices accordingly. So at the moment, it's at negative 55%. It's actually thinking, okay, everyone's pretty poor. We need to sort of reduce what we're doing for it to all make sense. I like the look of these, actually. These are just algae farmers. So this MTH is tending some algae farms far out in the deep seas. We'll have extra food supply. Now, they have other things as well. Like, we won't see anything here, but this is the log book, essentially, into here for the Hades main trade house. So you receive some news if you're in communication, but you will receive all news if you're a shareholder. At the moment, we're not seeing anything much at all. But all we're seeing is the actual round 8, which is what we're in. It's paid no credits to the shareholders, and it started an auction, and the minimum bid price was 146 credits. We've now got 500 odd, so we'll put a little bit in there to sort of see how we go. Now, the only other people that can be part of this will be the major factions that edge onto this particular trade house. And I'm almost tempted to not put anything extra on, with the hope that there's no other majors. And there's a good chance that may be the case on this particular world. But then there's other worlds that you play where there's very few maritime trade houses, and they're in fierce competition with each other. So I probably will just raise it very, very slightly, just so you can see what it does. And then this is the trade screen, which we don't actually sort of see. So no news available if you're not a shareholder of the MTH. And so they've got sort of like different sell prices and buy prices. So it's got greed plus trade policy can still influence these prices. There we are. So the pricing can go up or down, but we haven't really got any sort of contract with them to be able to go into this sort of depth at this point in time. So they're algae farmers. Odin Sea are money grubbers. Now these are the maritime Scrooges. They pay low dividends, but if they're like Odin is back over this side, unknown piracy attitude, so it would be nice to know what they are. Their contact at this stage is 44, and so they really don't read. We're sort of in the middle, but when we have a look back at Hades Main, where it's 52, so our relation is coming up, but unfortunately they're pro-pirates. Blowfish is undecided. They're only +2 piracy, but they're cold with us. They don't really like us at this point in time. They're very aggressive, and through this side, they're very expansionist. They're more likely to go to warfare, but they've got low greed. And you can see there that the relation modifiers through here is +50. So essentially, if we can get shares with this particular group, they're going to be quite positive. This is all going to change very, very quickly. So I think this is one that we should be trying to become friendly with. The deep sea miners, these ones extract metals, so they will have more metals for sale, etc. later on in the game. But anyway, and her support is very weak, and so in this case we could shift her out of there if we wanted to change things, and then that would have the impact of changing all of these sorts of things as well, including the deep sea miners. So it may be that we think, look, let's try to get in friendly with the Blowfish MTH, and buy shares, start to impact them or influence them in different ways, and then try to support her, or to try to weaken her even further and have somebody else take over, and then have all of this sort of then reset. But they've got 4 ships, they've got 2,000 tonnage with what they actually can then go and do. But that's across a lot of sea lanes. If we go back to the overview, actually not the overview so much, if we just go back to Blowfish and through there, you'll see that Blowfish have got at least two of them in the areas out through this side. The Odin Sea have got 2 areas out through this area, and then we've got the Hades main coming out off the top in through this side. And if we go back to our strategic map and then have a bit of a look at the, I don't know if the zones will show, yeah, the zones will then show the different areas. So if we have a look at the Hades main goes off this way somewhere. It looks like there's something up. I'm not sure why that's been cut off up there, but it looks like there's somehow we know that that's as far as that one does go. So this is so Hades main is just a single area. And so there's a very good chance we're going to be able to get what we need. With Odin Sea 1 and 2, they control all of this ocean, part of the ocean, which only is into the southern hemisphere, so that one probably won't really, up to the South Pole, sorry. So that goes to the South Pole. There won't be much islands that will then contact, but Odin Sea 2 goes off into this area, and there's likely to be other islands further out than what we're sort of seeing through there. Actually, that one, the Hades main is just the edge of what we can sort of guess is what's going to actually be there. And again, Planetary Ocean as well is going to there's 2 zones there, so there's a very good chance that this one will actually end up having major factions there. So let's see if we can win this with this particular auction. If we just go back to the game itself and decisions. So I'll put in 200. So we'll just put in around about 200, which is low, but I'm sort of hopeful there's no other majors that are in contact with this particular trade house. And you can see there that this is, actually this is our secretary, who's actually fairly, what is he? He's a Cap 2. He's actually very unfriendly, he's very unhappy. Very unhappy. I'm going to have to get to the bottom of that. Anyway, we'll put the bid in. Oh, damn it. I went back to 146. Oh well. We'll see if we can get it with 146. Eventually in the game, these prices will start to really get up high, and we'll be wanting to have a lot of money. So money is very, very important to us. Also, I'm concerned that I'm just not going to be able to break in across this little river. I'm going to see if they will come forward and meet me, so I can actually then go after them. So I'm going to move these guys back a little bit. Yeah, if we can somehow just get them so that they're doing other things, that would be ideal. So we can sort of come in at different angles. We're not going to need that one so much. Might just move that one back up to the other location there. All right, so we're going to see if they will come out of here. And if they do, then we'll know that we'll be able to then impact them. I think I'm going to move these down as well, just to sort of start, like, it's going to be hard for us to break in there. Okay, that's all done, let's end the turn in here. It's just going to keep on walking up the coastline. It may be coming back the other way. It may have gone back into the ocean for all we know. Found hydroponics, which we don't really need. So we're still in discovery mode. I was going to go and get the other one, the university. Ancient archive, personal guard, political points. We don't need any of those. We don't want rebellion. Field training, so experience grows. Our bid was the highest. Okay, so it means that there mustn't be any other areas around us. So we won the auction. We now have a total of 1 share. And what we can then sort of see, yeah, we've got, this is the Clio has dropped to 53. This is actually different again. Got a few now that are in dire straits with the actual people. Now this one here, we've don't have much information there. I might just keep on here for a little while and just see if I can draw these out into the ruins of the old Mafaro city. Let's just go and press A. I do actually have this one here, but we'll just do an attack. I've only got 50 recon. Oh, that's good. That's another one. I think I'm going to have to bring these across to help dislodge the city. I don't think I'm going to be able to break through even with those tanks. The tanks aren't all that powerful when we first start. Let's go and bring these up. Just press M. 6-1. Yep, let's go for it. What I might do before we do that one, just cancel that one. I do want to sort of wipe these out. Let's just move up and have these surrounded. Let me just move that one across.
Let's go. Get out.
Okay, we didn't quite do it. We are weakening them though. Just click on OK. It's look. I don't know how long before I'll have to start to bring those artillery back in. The artillery is very, very, very helpful now in the game. Let's just keep on heading over this way. Now we may be out of supply here. I think. Don't know if it tells us anywhere where the supply is actually, whether we do have supply there. Not really. No. So it must be in here. I think we're sort of blundering in towards it now. It won't go. Usually amphibious creatures will only stay on the coastline or in the ocean. They won't go deeper than 1 in, which is what we've sort of seen all the way through here. But it looks like it's come back in this other side. Now we're going to have to go back to supply after this round. This one will be out of supply, I think, in this coming round. Actually, maybe not. It may be enough to get supply across that way. Okay, how are we going? We've got 308 in through here. Now, money, as I say, is very, very important in the game. What we're going to find is, because we've now got this one through here, we're not seeing anything, we're not getting any other hints of anything up there just yet, but that will then change. If we now have a look at our reports for the MTHs and look at Hades main, we'll now see that we've got 1 share in through this side, and we can now see other information. And so these guys have got this MTH has a mind profile. MTH profile impacts its behavior and occurrence of MTH-related events and decisions. So mind MTHs will get 100% commerce bonus on their trading. If also has commerce, we'll have plus 200% commerce bonus. So it does actually have the trading, it does have a commerce bonus, and then over through here, the meritocracy MTHs will have a higher warfare rating and provide better capability level leaders. So that would be good. Now that we're actually starting to get like a relationship with them, we can see the relationships that they have with the other maritime trade houses, and some of these we won't even know about, like Hestia Brine, Relation 41. We don't know them. There's Blowfish. There's Apollo C, which we haven't met yet. There's the Dionysus C, which we haven't met. Odin C, which we have met, and then Planetary Ocean, which we've met as well. So actually, Planetary Ocean is different again to Blowfish. So Blowfish has got a different area in through there. But our relationship will then start to get better and better with these guys, and so we are a shareholder. They do actually have a lot of credits. So they've got a reasonably sized treasury, which is good. So what they will then do is they will then be wanting to improve what they have. And so they'll look at us and think, how can we use the money that we have to better our situation? And so what they will then do is they'll actually look at us. If I just get rid of this for a second and click in our territory somewhere, they're going to look at what we've got and think, oh, there's a lot of industrial points there. We can make use of that. Let's go and buy that. And so this is where the relationship will start to get stronger and stronger. And so the more industrial points we have, the more we can convert that into money. The more money we have, the more we can then sort of do things with them where we start to employ contracts. So it becomes quite a symbiotic relationship with the actual maritime trade house. I'm glad this has actually happened in this episode, because I've been able to at least explain the very, very basics of at least this shareholding and the way it works. Now, again, if we go back to the reports, we get to see all this information now. If we go to the actual logs, we can now start to see specific information that we didn't see there before. And so we can actually have a look, considering Blowfish MTH, modified reaction equals 18, above 0, considered friendly. So they're sort of, this is essentially the log files of the Hades main maritime trade house. We don't have that with Blowfish. We've only got like basic sort of stuff in through there. Opposition and current elder support levels both diminish with 2 points. MTH earnings are 0 credits, so 1/20th of the treasury is 135, 54% is considered for dividend pay. That's actually fairly cool. So we're going to get a fair amount actually ultimately of the, so that they're going to give a dividend next turn by the looks of 1/20th of their treasury. So we will get something. And I think it might be 54% of this, which would be fantastic. Treasury is 2696. We'll consider paying dividends when Treasury gets above 492. So next term we should actually start to see some money coming in. Paid a total in there of 0 at this point in time. Sold one share to Das Quatica for 146, which is what we ended up getting. Sold one share to a major regime for 146. This is sort of like the they're saying us basically. The contract analysis, so Fleet 3 needed. They don't need any more ships at this point in time. Base contract price is 350 credits. The price modifier is minus 15%. Liquidity modifier is minus 55%. We saw that in their overview down through here. So that's actually where we have that one. So as things develop and we get friendlier and friendlier with them, it should also then make it so that they're less likely to send pirates against us. But we can do all sorts of things now that we've actually got this. It's quite interesting. Their fleet analysis, so 3 enemy, 3 friendly. So they're worried that there is actually enemy ships nearby. And construction analysis, 0 ideal construction plus 1 maximum construction. So again, there's it wouldn't mind building another ship, and this is where eventually it's going to be looking at the industrial points that we have and look to them. So we need to be focused very differently than what we used to have to be looking at with the old game of Shadow Empire, where you just needed enough money in the industrial points just to build what you had to build to grow. We now have a thing where if we do manage to save money, it's going to be helpful. If we do manage to save industrial points, it will be helpful as well. Now, so we can sort of see where different things are in through there. So we'll leave them where they are for a second. Just go back to our decisions. Steel League demands that you hire the candidate. Yep, not a problem. Motion that the autocracy profile at least 58. Yep, we'll accept that. Policy speech. The goal is, but we do want to do this one. So we'll do that one in through there. New director for the Interior Council. Now we've got Cleo. Now Cleo again is someone that's sort of only a cap 1. This is not a very important role, to be honest. But if there's nobody else is really going to be any good, it's a cap 1 as well. It's useless. Then Boomer back in 3 years, also a cap 1. I'll try to bring in one more leader. Actually, there's the increased income tax. So let's just try this one as well. I'll talk about this in just a minute. But I think I'll just go and get a junior.
Roger that.
And hopefully, this can be a bit random. So hopefully the decision, this is Marlo Johnland. He's coming as a cap 3. With no real skills, but fairly high intelligence. So let's pop him into that role.
Copy that.
We can always then move him out into other roles as required, but at least with the capability 3, he'll actually learn on the job. Now, taxation, we do want to get a lot of taxation until we sort of get things developed. Now, he's going to then be able to roll the cards to sort of try to sort of do what has to be done to improve the tax. The interior policies, I think what I'll do is I'll just keep those locked in at 25s each. The human resources, these are things like the medals or the retirement cards, things like that. The interior policies are, what are these ones? If you're wanting to sort of find out, I'll just go and set this one up. Tariffs, we don't really need a lot of, so I'm just going to go say 1% there. And that just gives me nearly 50% with taxation at this stage. I'm just going to confirm that one. Once we get to our taxation level, we never have to change it again. So these are not a critically important area, but if we go back to the reports, go to the stratagems, under help, and then have a look at the Interior Council, we can sort of see that we've got like these are the different things, like give 500 to the populace, which again is not important. This is sort of money. Bonus back in through there. This is now more going on with the dealing with the actual personnel. So increase sales tax, increase income tax, which is what we're going to be playing right now. Import tariff. We've got 4 pages of stuff. There's actually an import tariff increase, so increases the import tariff with 25%. Actually, maybe this isn't so bad, like maybe this actually may now play a bigger role with the maritime trade houses. There's official gifts, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Cabinet retreats actually are important. So these are actually fairly cool. There's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, they do have a lot of cards under there that they can actually sort of get involved in. Even just the general improvement of the our forces is great. So anyway, we'll come back to them. I don't like the edge scrolling. I'm sort of it just zips off really fast. It's quite annoying. Anyway, that's the that's that particular card. Now we do actually have strat cards. We do actually have increase income tax. So Marlo Johnland will now roll this card. He's only got a base skill of 29, and we can sort of see how this one is actually sort of working. Now we do get a he's got a like the improvisation bonus is 7, the sixth sense bonus is 2, and then the leader relation modifier is 20, which gives him a bonus of 29. But he has to roll a 70, so we've got a little bit better than a 50-50 odds. Every time we do anything, it does go up. Now, is there anything else? No, there's nothing else he can do. So we just want to go and increase the income tax.
Copy that.
And we did get it there. Great. Now, we're playing on regular mode. So if we go across to the reports and then go to the main overview, the Empire dashboard, we can then sort of see that our income tax is at 30 now. It's just gone up 10. We can get this to 40, and this will then have a big impact on what we can then do. You can see our start turn credits are going backwards at 88 at the moment. There's a lot we have to consider with money. Now, I'm not in a screaming rush to build things, particularly things that are going to be employing a lot of people. If we go back to our capital, so Torona, and have a look at the populace in through there, you can see we've got like a fairly big population there of 133,000 in through there. Now they're paying 46 credits in income tax. We've now just raised that, and that was at 20%. We've now just raised that up by another 10%. So we're going to look at another 20 coming back in, 23 coming back in on top of that one in through there as well. And so this is going to be helpful to us just to increase the income tax. But the more we increase our workers who don't pay income tax, so the ones that we employ don't actually pay the tax, it's only the actual population in here that pay it. The more that we actually end up with buildings that are using up the people, the less money we end up getting. So we have to balance this a little bit as well, where we essentially try to milk as much as we can from them, but also still keep on building what we need. So if we go back to construction, back in through here, for example, what can we build? We do actually have the High Command Officers 3, only 3,300 workers, so it's fairly low, but it's going to be using a lot of energy, and our energy has just turned over the limits of where we can comfortably do things. So in that case, we may need to start to look at getting more energy to sort of to be able to then have the different buildings that we have, particularly when we bring this one in through down in through here. So that now also then means, do we look at getting a power plant, which we haven't actually accessed yet? If we go across to energy, we do have solar panels, which has got like 300 workers, which is nothing at all. And we can build them straight away. Like this is only one round. We need 100 metals. We've got 133. We've got enough industrial points in through there as well. And so that will then generate the 75. We might just go and grab that one right now, I think, just because we're starting to go backwards. So let's go and build that one. We don't want to end up running out of energy. So it doesn't mean we go to 0. It just means that it has to then split it up amongst all the other different buildings, which means that our overall abilities go backwards, which we don't want. Okay, now there's nothing else critical up the top there. I think I'll just move this one back across. All right, let's end our turn. So it was a lot that we did just in that one turn, actually. So I'm glad that we got a chance to sort of go through how that all does work. Eager industrialist. Industrial is so much more important now. So this is a good one for us. So what we'll do is we're going to conquer that city now. They haven't come out. They haven't come out. I'm going to start to move these down And if they haven't come out by the time they reach there, then we'll just go down and set up our actual attack. What sort of we got? 50 recon. We need 70 really to sort of get basic information. I'll start to move this one across to also then help out just to see what's going on over there. This one here is still actually is in supply. Let's just go onto the mountain. We know that they're not going to be in the mountain. There's nothing major for us to do down in this way, so we can sort of almost just leave it. But it would be nice to just have it cleaned up. So that I'm pretty sure that's just a creature that's coming on that other side. But they won't go beyond just the sea. Oh, here we go. Look at this. We've got a very rare location in here. Now, this would be a good one for us. Energy will go up next turn. We've just built the solar panels, so they've now just been constructed. I think we'll actually go and build this one in through this side. So if we know that that's going to come off this road in here, so we're just going to go across to there. Construct. Now we're going to need probably one more machine, I think. So just go across to construction, mining, and this is just a recycling facility. And so I tend to not build these until I find and have a need for it. And the need for this one is really, now that we've got the very rare chance of getting artifacts, this could be a real game changer for us. And so I like to wait just so I've got as much time as possible with the with what we have through here with the amount of scavenge points. If I started to mine beforehand, I'll probably, I may go through all the scavenge points before I can really go through and find all the different artifacts. So I do like to sort of sit on those just for a little bit of time. I'll explain that in just a second. So we're going to start the construction. This is 2 rounds requiring 2 machines. We've only got 1 machine. So we do need to get another machine. Let's have a quick look and see if it's worth, if we go to workshop, it's going to be 20, 20, 20 to actually build one of those. Or if we go across to trade and go to buy, the machines are worth 84. So there's 3 machines available. If we go to sell, the rare earth metals are at a fair amount. So we can actually go and sell off 12 of those for 110 credits.
Copy that.
We might be able to sell off the food as well. We've got heaps of food. Yep, that's good.
Copy that.
And we can even sell off... actually, that's machine. The high-tech parts where they don't have enough funds for those. But if we go and buy the machines, if we bought all the machines, they've got 5 machines available for 420 credits. Let's go and buy, say, 3 machines. We are going to need them, actually. If we give them money, they will then buy the high-tech parts off us. We've still got 2 of those. Actually, maybe I'll just get, say, two machines at this point in time. That way we keep money, and I'll keep hold of the high-tech parts. They would actually now go and buy them from us at 161, but let's just leave it where we are. So we're building that one. We've got 3 machines up through there. I can build the machines ultimately if I wanted to sort of save money, and but I do want to keep the metals coming through as well. So there we are again, another turn for us. I'll just keep that one surrounded at this point in time. That one can't do much else down through that side. We'll end our turn again. They haven't moved off. Didn't even have a look at what those were. Okay, Blowfish has now started an auction. So we've got 287 back in through this side, and we'll do this auction, then we'll call it quits over here. They're just not leaving here. It's not going to work all that well for us. We're going to have to move these in. We'll be sort of in a couple of turns. So next turn we'll actually then go and start to bombard this. There's just a low-level transport hub and a low-level farm. Doing this invasion may end up blowing up those things, but we have a lot of food anyway from over here. So ultimately, even if we blow everything to pieces with the tanks and the artillery, it's still worth it to get the population ultimately over time. Everything else is looking good there. Actually, what are these guys thinking about building? A foaming dam community. So they're actually looking at even getting like an increase into a farming dome. That's interesting because at the moment they've got it like an open farm, I think. Yeah, they do. So they're looking somewhere else on the map to build a dome farm. Well, that is interesting. Also, if we have a look at the history, where was the battle? It was there. Okay, they went up that against the leadership, back up the top. In fact, I'm going to have to move that leadership back out of there because I need to get them down, ready to sort of help with the fights in the bottom. Just go to the next battle. That was it. That was the only battle that was there. So they sort of they tried against the leadership, but I will actually bring the leadership back out there now. Move that one up. Move that one in, and just let it sort of keep on beating itself up. Now, actually, I might even bring this one down, which does give us a potential issue there. I'll just do it this way. Oh, here we go. We've got a big group of militia that have just been formed. We'll move them across to see if we can take over the city with these also helping out. One decision, the stock auction. They want 168. We don't have very much. Let's try it with, say, 200. So we'll bid that amount. So bid 200. And in the meantime, yeah, they're not going to come out. They're not going to meet us. They're not going to fall for the trap. The game actually plays very, very cleverly. It's not an easy AI to fight against. Not at all. This one here is still moving up. Yeah, it's okay. It's in here somewhere. This creature. It's impacting what's happening down through that side. We don't know what that is. But we are moving across, just sort of, we're in the mountains, sort of trying to keep an eye on it, but it's lurking somewhere in the jungles that are down through this other side. Yep, they're all okay. That's okay. Just keep these sort of thumping along until we're sort of ready. Now we're going to almost run out of money if we have a quick look at the reports. Actually, we're spending 46 at the moment, so we should have enough for this coming turn with 87. So that one's actually okay. So that one's all working. Oh wow, this guy is really going backwards. He's a cap 2. Does it matter? Does it matter if he leaves? 37. I just don't think he's going to. Yeah, the relation is going backwards. Now, he's not getting paid. Yeah, the natural point is very, very low for him. If we have a look and see this, because we might just quickly analyse this. I know I've gone well and truly over time in this episode, but if we just have a quick look at the management score, and because I do want to end the turn, but I don't want to do this without actually figuring out what's going on here. We've got the relation, and we've got the natural relation point in through this side. If we go and click on this one, most of them are positive, so there's a few of them, just him actually, he's the only one that's really, really low. We've got other ones like this boomer is going to start going backwards, but who cares? I think it's a who cares option here with Cassandra as well. And so if we hover over this one, yeah, part loyalty, part job prestige. So low job prestige. Part the leader profile match with the regime profile. So whatever his aspects are here, he is pro-fist, pro-democracy, and negative commerce. It's the negative commerce that will be impacting him negatively. I think we just let him go, and so he'll probably either just leave quietly or leave with a bit of a flourish, leave with a bang. But I think we'll be able to cope with that. So I think we just let that one actually happen. So we won't worry about trying to make him happy, because it's just not going to. I want to go pro-commerce. At the moment we are autocracy followed by meritocracy, very, very close. And we're pro-commerce in through here. And so the higher we go with commerce, which is what we want to aim for, the less happy he is going to be. So he is going to have to go at some point. Rather than get rid of him, I could go to my strat cards, go to my leader cards, give him some sort of retirement, so spend some credits and do different things, or give him money to, as a bonus or other things. I just don't want to do it. Actually, that reminds me, I do actually have the nation cards, not the nation cards, the zone cards in through here. The eager industrialist, we definitely want to be playing that onto Torona. So we're going to execute the stratagem.
Order acknowledged.
And travelling teachers would be a good one for us there as well. If we just have a bit of a look, I may want to save that for the other town. What do we know about this other town? Yeah, we don't know how big it is. But what about this one here? If we have a quick look at the civilization scores. Yeah, it's only entertainment that's coming down. In fact, civilization has now gone to 15, which means that we can... I should actually do this, government buildings. We should actually now build the bureaucratic offices too and pick this one up. I think we might throw that into the mix right now. It's only 2 rounds to get that one. That's going to then give us a lot of bureaucratic points, but it will be at 7,000 of these will then sort of disappear. But that's okay. That's like a couple of turns worth of growth, which will be fine. So that will be okay with what we're doing there. End our turn, and we'll just see if we win this particular auction. It's moving down the coast again. Start the turn. Okay, this will be Odin C has come to talk with us. Nothing good there. Increased sales tax is actually a good one for us. Our bid failed as they went to the highest bidder, the Venonum Republic, and they bid nearly 600. So our bid was returned to us. So we've had a successful bid and an unsuccessful bid, and so Blowfish is now becoming under the control, or not the control, but they've got. So the Venonum Republic is now sort of sitting on their board, which I would like to get in there, but we at least have now a bit of an idea as to what they were putting up. We couldn't afford that at all. This is another major that then fronts onto them, and we thought that might be the case because they do control a lot of seaways. Back and through there, so we've got a 1 unit with low supply. Just dismiss that one. Low treasury levels, and worker happiness, we'll just dismiss that one. Actually, the treasury went up there for some reason. Oh, that'll be because of... tariffs with what we're selling. This one is now sort of run out of supply. Let's just go and move back. I don't know if that's got any supply there or not. It's very hard to tell, actually. Just move back up here. This one may be completely out of supply. We may have to get back into here. Not that we can do much with this. All right, well, I'm going to leave it here, guys. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next episode.